Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rhyme of the Times for the weekend in 23rd of May 2026. The focus of British eyes is now on how the land lies for a by-election of significant size, while Starmer and Reeves devise the odd surprise and cannot disguise pride in some latest national data publicised. Southampton's use of spies proves unwise. Facts arise that suggest Liz helped authorise Andy's plum diplomatic prize. A British national treasure dies. This week, Sir Keir Starmer carried on and kept calmer, and despite a generally bleak panorama, he tried to ignore the Labour psychodrama, and from surviving another week, hope could be garnered. But if Burnham takes Makerfield, there's little doubt that Sir Keir's chance of survival is slim or fat. And this week, as the field of candidates took shape, we learnt about Makerfield's political landscape. Anti-European sentiment meant this Red Wall seat was one of the many that fell to Brexit defeat. But in 2024, Josh Simons put it back in Labour hands, with Boris's dog's Brexit not going as planned. Simon's got a majority of 5,000 plus, but Starmer's non-delivery has left many nonplussed. And in Makerfield's council elections just past, Reform gave Labour a huge kick up the arse. Now Burnham's stepped in as Simon's made way, but has he just cleared the path for Reform UK? Their man, Robert Kenyon, might be wet behind the ears, but he's local, working class and a Brexiteer. Many Labour voters may look on Burnham fondly, but his pro-Europe stance presents quite a quandary. Meanwhile, the Greens' Chris Kennedy did the okey-cokey, put forward as their man, but then deemed not okay. Some socials of his in March had caused concern, leading to this embarrassing U-turn. It seems he thought it was a Jewish force flag ruse when masked men torched for ambulances owned by Jews. Though recent times for Labour may not have been the best, this week there were some good numbers to digest. Growth at 0.6% for the first quarter may not seem like what the doctor ordered, but with the economic curveballs Trump's thrown around like Hormuz and tariffs, the figure's quite sound. And inflation is also lower than expected. 2.8% is much better than projected. Then on Thursday came the jewel in the crown. Net migration to the UK is well down. In fact, 171,000 is extremely low. The lowest since the rise started 14 years ago. Unexpectedly and spectacularly, 82% down on the peak of 2023. On Thursday, Labour launched its great summer savings, a few quid off family outings and cravings. It was presented like a discount supermarket ad to encourage folk to spend and feel a bit glad. Sir Keir looking to be the great benefactor, trying to manufacture some feel-good factor. Starmer and Reeves must have thought it couldn't fail. Cynics thought it looked more like a closing down sale. Roll up for the bargains while they're here and before Rach and Sir Keir disappear. Less summer savings, more saving Starmer's skin, with campaigning in Makerfield set to begin. On Wednesday there was something quite mysterious. Was Reeves delirious or deadly serious? State control of prices to be favoured, communism to be our economic saviour. But when she called the food retail big boys to play ball and freeze prices of essentials, They weren't pleased at all. It wasn't discussed much before Rach hit brake and clutch, and another U-turn policy was kicked into touch. In elite sport, it's all about marginal gains, that extra 1% of prep to win a game. Southampton's manager certainly wouldn't disagree. In fact, he showed he'd go to the nth degree. But he was perhaps a degree or two too thorough when he sent someone to spy on opponents' borough. Tonda Eckhart, in his effort to make his team the winners, ended up turning his saints into soccer sinners. The EFL investigated what had been going on, and Southampton were banged to rights for doing wrong. They were kicked out the playoffs and had 4 points docked, a punishment so harsh it had many folk shocked. So Middlesbrough were reinstated, and on Saturday went down to Wembley with a final to play, but they lost 1-0, and it's Hull City which is going to sample the Premier League riches. Southampton had paid the price for their folly and vice, while Middlesbrough's the first team to get knocked out twice. Up to Thursday evening, the Queen, God rest her soul, had been spared any claims that she played a role, or that the dear old lady even knew of the sordid business of her son Andrew. But on Thursday we learnt the part she played was big in getting him his top diplomatic gig. Boy oh boy, it seems Liz pushed her boy into the role of British business envoy. Her maternal blind spot may have meant she failed to spot that her son was a talented, charming prince. Not. It's clear that Andy's life has become a car crash, but now his mum's reputation may also be trashed. While royalists plead with God to have her name saved, Republicans wish it to be sullied from the grave. Certainly her reputation has lost some varnish. Anti-royalists would say it's completely tarnished. For 7 decades, Judith Chalmers charmed us. Her dulcet tones and elegance disarmed us. A national treasure, a female pioneer through an incredible broadcasting career, presenting TV and radio shows for 60 years. She died on Thursday at 90, but Judith, my dear, there are many people who still wish you were here.